Well, well, well. I'll be damned. November 25th, 2023. Hell has officially frozen over in the professional wrestling world. We all wondered when this moment would happen. I knew eventually it was just a matter of time before it happened. Never say never. That's a quote that WWE lives by. That's a quote that Triple H often says. Never say never. How many times have we been told throughout the years, oh, this particular person's never going to come back to WWE. Oh, this particular woman's never going to come back to WWE. This guy ain't going to come back. This guy ain't going to come back. This woman ain't going to come back. That woman ain't going to come back. And yet they always find a way to come back to WWE, to come back to the World Wrestling Entertainment. The one name that everybody has been wondering for nearly 10 years if he would ever appear again in WWE was CM Punk. Now, I know people are going to say, oh, well, CM Punk did technically appear in WWE again a few years ago when he was on that talk show that was on Fox Sports. That doesn't officially count. In my opinion, that doesn't officially count. He was on his own there. He wasn't really under a WWE contract. Fox hired him on basically as a special broadcaster to the show. They allowed him to basically say and do whatever he wanted to do on the show. And the show didn't even really last that long after he was hired. I think it lasted like another year or two before they ended up pulling the plug on it. And then he went away, and then obviously, as we all know, he went to AEW, and let's just say that was a very interesting tenure over there. And now here we are. November 25th, 2023, Survivor Series just went off the air about an hour ago at the time of me making this video. And Phil Brooks, CM Punk, has done the unthinkable. He's back in WWE. Now, I don't know how long he's going to be back for. We have no information at the time of what type of contract he signed to. But he appeared at the very last second of Survivor Series tonight. Right when the show was fixing to go off the air, the logo had appeared, the credit logo, to end the show. And then all of a sudden, CM Punk's Cult of Personality hits. And it's actually a brand new version of Cult of Personality. It's a remastered version that came out actually a few days ago. It was leaked. It was leaked all over social media, and everybody already heard it. They took the song down, and then I guess they realized, well, it got leaked, so oh well. And they put it back up, and that pretty much was a dead giveaway that something's gonna happen. And sure enough, that something happened. CM Punk is back. Wow. All these years of the fans clamoring for this guy to come back to WWE, all the years of hearing CM Punk from the crowd, the constant begging, the constant pleading, screaming at the top of their lungs, begging for this man to come back. And eventually he did come back, but not to WWE. He did come back to wrestling, but he came back to AEW. And like I said, we all know his history there. If you don't, you can go ahead and look it up. It's a very, very long story. I'm not going to get into it here because that would be way too long of a video, but last time we saw CM Punk was late August 2023 when he was at Wembley for that AEW show, and he had that infamous brawl backstage with Jungle Boy Jack Perry that got him fired because he not only put his hands on Jack Perry, but also put his hands on Tony Khan. and Tony Khan ended up firing him literally the very next week. And for 3 months, because I'm assuming CM Punk had a 90-day no-compete clause, we were wondering what the hell was going on. You know, the wrestling fans were wondering what the hell was going on. Me personally, from my perspective, I was expecting him to come back to WWE sometime in 2024. But I knew deep down that it was just a matter of time before he eventually did pop back in WWE. Like the slogan says, never say never. It was just a matter of time. Personally, I was thinking that he was going to come back in 2024 at the Royal Rumble. Possibly at number 30. We go through all the 29 entrants, and the fans are getting really pissed off because there's no CM Punk. And we get to number 30, and the crowd's waiting for it. They're hoping that it's him. Number 30 hits, the buzzer hits, Cult of Personality starts playing. The place comes fucking unglued. Out comes CM Punk. I wouldn't have him win the Rumble, but I would probably have him be the second to last person in the Rumble match. I would have him be the one eliminated for the Royal Rumble winner. I think that they're probably going to set up a feud with him and Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, if I had to take a guess. Because I don't see them sending him at Roman. I just don't. I don't see that happening at all. Unless they just throw a major freaking curveball. I mean, they threw us a curveball tonight. I mean, I wasn't expecting to see CM Punk return to WWE tonight out of all things. You know, despite all the rumors and everything that were going on. And, by the way, I didn't watch a single second of the show tonight. I watched TWRP's live reaction, Technical Work Rate Production. Link down below to their channel. Amazing guys. Go check them out. I watched their live reactions tonight. And the whole time, you know, everybody was asking them. It wasn't just me. Everybody was asking them, do you think CM Punk's going to show up? Do you think the rumors are true? And they said that they haven't heard nothing. They actually have an insider in the WWE business, in the wrestling business, that gets a lot of credible information. And they didn't hear anything from him all night until the very last second, where he hit them up and said CM Punk might actually show up tonight. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but there's a chance he might show up. And then sure enough, right when the show is about to go off the air, he shows up. This is big. I'm not going to lie. Despite how I felt about CM Punk being fired from AEW, this is a really big deal. Not just for WWE, but for the entire professional wrestling industry. This is a really big deal. Because this, in my opinion, and in probably a lot of other people's opinion, is the final stop for CM Punk. He has nowhere to go after this. If he burns this bridge down, if he burns that bridge, there's no more bridges to cross. He's not going to go to TNA. They don't have the money to pay him. And I don't think CM Punk's going to want to perform in front of 50 people in a bingo hall again. This ain't 2005, okay? This ain't ROH 2005. This is 2023. I don't think CM Punk's going to want to do that. I don't see him going to New Japan. I don't see him going to MLW. He definitely ain't going back to AEW. He definitely ain't going back to ROH. I think after tonight, Tony Khan's going to freaking blacklist him from history. You know how WWE never mentions Chris Benoit by name? They never make any reference to him at all. I guarantee you after tonight, AEW is never going to mention that guy's name ever again. They're going to freaking blacklist him. They are going to give CM Punk the Chris Benoit treatment and never mention him ever again after tonight. And if you were to ask me, do I see him ever going back to AEW? No. I think that bridge has been permanently burnt to the ground and it's never going to be rebuilt. I think all signs point to a no for that. But then again, you just never know. But in my opinion, this is his last stop. And I think he knows it too. This is really all he has left. WWE is the last place that he has left. He can't go back to MMA. He can't go back to UFC. He failed as a Marvel sketch writer. He tried to do broadcasting for boxing fights and for MMA fights, and that didn't really turn out so well. He tried to have a career in Hollywood with Girl on the Third Floor, and I think he was in some other movie as well, but I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. And those movies weren't, they weren't the greatest movies in the world, let's be honest. This was really his last stop. After this, that's it. After his tenure with WWE is done here, whether it ends on good terms, whether it ends on bad terms, this is it. After this, I could definitely see him retiring and going back home and just living his life in retirement. Only time's going to tell what this WWE tenure is going to be like for CM Punk. Only time can tell. How eerie is it that nearly 10 years ago, the last time we saw CM Punk in WWE was Royal Rumble 2014. The very next night, he does show up on Raw, but he's not on the show. And we get that infamous backstage issue with him, Vince, and Hunter, where Vince tells him, "You're wrestling Triple H at WrestleMania." And CM Punk basically says, "Look, I don't want to work with this guy. He buried me way too many times. He ruined my push back in 2011. I don't want to work with this guy. I'm sorry, but it's a no. I'm just going to take my ball and go home." And the last thing CM Punk did in WWE before he walked out was he looked at Triple H. Triple H extended his hand out. Punk refused to shake his hand. Punk walked out of the office, and that's the last time they spoke to each other for about 10 years. And then, of course, they end up firing him on his wedding day a few months later. I mean, just the fact that CM Punk got fired on his wedding day, that pretty much just goes to show you just how much he pissed off a lot of people backstage. For them to send him his fax, for them to give him his release papers and tell you you're fired on your wedding day, goes to show just how much the people backstage hated his guts. And all the years that went by, all the fans begging for him to come back, even I was getting annoyed with it. I used to be in the same boat where I would have loved to have seen him come back in the day. All the rumors about, oh man, is he going to show up? Is he going to be here? Is he going to come back? And then nothing happens. I was in the same boat where I wanted to see him come back. But then as the years go by and I hear about all the stupid shit that he's doing on the outside, and then I see the stuff that he does over in AEW, I just think to myself, yeah, it's cool to see him back in WWE, but to me, it doesn't have that same, oh my god, I can't believe this happened type of feeling. It's definitely a shocking moment for WWE, for the wrestling business as a whole, but for me personally, I'm kind of indifferent on it. CM Punk, I used to have a lot of respect for the guy. He used to be one of my favorites back in the day. And then when he was over in AEW, I got to see just how much of an egotistical asshole he actually is as a person. And to me, it ruined my reputation of him. I used to have a lot of respect for the guy, and I still have a teeny little amount of respect for him. I mean, to be fair, he was kind of right about Hangman Adam Page, calling Adam Page a empty-headed dumb fuck. I'm not even gonna talk about what Hangman Adam Page did That's a video on its own. You can go check that out. I'm not talking about that anymore. But I do think CM Punk was right about Hangman Adam Page calling him a empty-headed dumb fuck. But what CM Punk failed to realize is that Adam Page isn't the only empty-headed dumb fuck in all of AEW. Most of that roster are dumb fucks. Most of the people running the company are dumb fucks. And Tony Khan is numero uno. He's number one among the dumb fuckery because he allows all this shit to happen. While his exit was controversial in AEW, in some ways, I kind of don't blame him for getting the fuck out of there. I think he should have been a lot more professional if he wanted to get out of there. I think he probably should have went to Tony and been like, hey, Triple H is offering me way more money. He's offering me a WrestleMania main event. He's offering me this. He's offering me that. While you're offering me a lot over here in AEW, they're just offering me way too much. I can't turn it down. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be back in the professional wrestling industry. Here's a warm handshake. Thank you very much. And maybe somewhere down the line, I might consider coming back down the line when the time is right, if I'm in the mood. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and here we are now. It's going to be intriguing. It's going to be really intriguing to see what CM Punk does in AEW, what he does in WWE. He ain't never going back to AEW. That door is now permanently closed. That bridge has been permanently burnt to the ground. It's going to be interesting to see what he does in WWE this time around. How long will this ride last? I don't know. It'll last as long as CM Punk wants it to last, I guess. As long as WWE wants it to go on, it'll last as long as they want it, or until CM Punk does something stupid to get himself fired again. Do I think that he'll be a changed man this time around? I don't know. I really don't know. I would hope that he would calm down. I would hope that he would get his temper in place and just relax. Calm yourself down. No need to get into backstage brawls with people. No need to cause any backstage politics and drama and stuff like that. Just relax. Let Triple H and WWE handle everything. I'm pretty sure you're going to have some political power. Don't go overboard with it. Don't have a massive freaking ego. And we'll see how things go. Is it going to make me tune in for the shows? Fuck no. CM Punk by himself is not going to be enough to make me want to come back and watch WWE on a regular basis. Excuse me. He's not enough to make me come back and watch the show on a regular basis. Yeah, good for the wrestling fans that wanted to see him come back to WWE. You finally got what you wanted. After nearly a fucking decade of CM Punk, you finally get what you want. Now shut the fuck up. One other thing I want to mention, by the way, and I did hear about this from TWRP. Apparently, Ryback said on Twitter that if CM Punk ever came back to WWE, that he would retire from pro wrestling. Well, you might want to hang up your boots tonight, sir, because CM Punk came back. You better be a man of your word, even though I'm pretty sure you're not going to be. And besides, when's the last time you fucking wrestled anyways? Seriously, when's the last time Ryback stepped foot in a wrestling ring? 2016? I remember you being at WrestleMania 32, and then after that, it's just all a fucking blur to me. And you end up getting released later on in the year, and you haven't been back in wrestling since then. Like, you're so much of an asshole, and you're so much of a headache, that even Tony Khan don't want to hire your ass. You know you're a fucking headache when Tony Khan don't even want to hire you. When Tony Khan doesn't even want to give you a call, bringing you into AEW. And speaking of AEW, oh man. You may have fired the biggest headache in the history of your company, but him coming back to WWE is not a good look for you. You're already in the shitter with low attendance and low viewership. And with all the freaking drama that's going on with your company, with that fucking match that you did last week, you are having some very bad negative PR right now, and this damn sure does not help. You are fucked. Fucked. Edge ain't gonna save you. Christian ain't gonna save you. Sting retiring, yeah, it might give you a little bit of a bump, but that's not gonna be enough to make people really care in your product. And how sad and pathetic is it that Sting, one of the greatest legends in wrestling history, had to announce his retirement in front of less than 100 people. I saw the pictures. I saw the video. There was barely anybody in that arena. Anyways, this video ain't about Sting. It's not supposed to be about AEW. It's supposed to be about CM Punk coming back to WWE. Great. Fantastic. Woo! It finally happened. How long do I give it? I say let's give it at least 6 months. Let's give it half a year. Let's give it till about WrestleMania. See where it goes from there. Do I think CM Punk will keep his ego in check to where he can make it to WrestleMania? Most likely yes. But the real question's going to be, what is CM Punk going to be like after WrestleMania? Because you know this guy's got one massive ego. He may be cool and collected right now before WrestleMania, so that way he gets what he wants. But what's going to happen when WrestleMania is over? That's the real question. Anyway, that does it here for this discussion video. CM Punk is back in WWE. Hell has officially frozen over. I'm not going to be tuning into the shows, but I will keep up with TWRP and hear what they have to say about what's going on with the product. I guess I'll be nice and say, welcome back, CM Punk. Welcome back, Phil. You proved a lot of people wrong. You actually came back home. Now let's just see how long this home is willing to keep you before you do something really stupid to get yourself kicked out again. Don't get evicted from your home again, Phil. Because if you do, this is going to be the last stop for you. You ain't going to be able to go anywhere else. This is your last chance in the pro wrestling industry. Don't fucking blow it. Edge Runner Gaming HD signing out. Peace.
They will find me through the flames, flames that run down through my veins. I will make the city burn. We're not planning to return. Trying so hard to be free, to make you see what I see. Hold on to your